Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving into um, a really fascinating set of letters. Personal correspondence, really.
Mm.
They follow a young woman, Anne Shirley, during 3 years teaching in a place called Summerside.
Right.
Think of it like a behind-the-scenes look. You get her personal growth, lots of unexpected adventures.
And what's so compelling, I think, is how these letters and very candid thoughts, they open this window into human nature,
Yeah.
community dynamics, how we connect, sometimes in really surprising ways. So our mission, really, is to pull out those key insights.
To help you understand not just what happened, but maybe why it actually matters.
Exactly the why.
And the source here, it's excerpts from Anne of Windy Willows by Lucy Maud Montgomery.
A classic.
Absolutely. And Montgomery herself, born on Prince Edward Island, PEI.
Yeah.
That island is just central to almost everything she wrote, even after she moved away.
You really feel that sense of place.
You do. She was reading and writing from age 15, taught for a bit, married a minister. This book, it's one of 9 about Anne, giving us this unique glimpse into her life just after college.
A really interesting transitional period for her.
So Anne's journey to Summerside starts right after she's finished her arts course, got her BA, she's the new principal of the high school. Quite a big step.
Definitely.
And she travels with Mrs. Rachel Lynde. The trip itself?
Well, it gets off to a memorable start. Humorous, maybe.
Oh, the train incident. Classic Anne.
Totally. The train's slowing down. She reaches for a suitcase, leans on what she thinks is a seat arm.
And it's not an armrest.
It's a man's bald head. Apparently there was a loud crack. Anne was mortified, apologized profusely.
But got a very stony glare in return, her first unintended Summerside encounter.
Sets the tone, maybe. That mix of good intentions and slight chaos.
I think so. But then the real challenge hits. Finding somewhere to live.
Right. She thought it'd be easy. This Mrs. Tom Pringle had boarded principals for years. But suddenly, Mrs. Pringle is just tired of being bothered. No explanation.
Which must have been a shock. Then other places have these, polite excuses.
Yeah, leaving Anne feeling pretty down, actually. Which is unusual for her.
But then, as it often does in Anne's life, there's this bit of luck. Serendipity.
Spooks Lane.
Spooks Lane. And at the end, Windy Willows. The house itself sounds incredible.
It really does. That contrast between the forbidding front door.
Only used for funerals and weddings, right? Hasn't been opened since the last one.
Exactly. And then the friendly green side door. It immediately tells you something about the place.
And the path leading up, Reuben grass, bleeding hearts, tiger lilies, pineys. Sounds lovely.
Inside, yeah, maybe a bit cluttered with antimacassars, but it had this quiet, friendly atmosphere.
And everything shining from Rebecca Dew's elbow grease.
Yeah.
You can just picture it.
Rebecca Dew, what a character. She absolutely rules the roost there.
A good cook, apparently. A genius with cold potatoes.
Yes, but so quirky. Refuses to be called Miss Dew.
Has cat-like ears, even a slew.
Apparently. And prowls around at night shouting for Dusty Miller, the cat.
You can almost hear her. Her presence just defines the house, doesn't it?
Completely. Along with the 2 widows, Aunt Kate and Aunt Chatty.
Aunt Kate, the captain's widow.
Yeah.
Superstitious.
And Aunt Chatty, the plain widow, sensitive, cries easily, loves to talk, but often has nothing to talk about.
Was very pretty in her day, though.
So they say. It's this whole ecosystem.
And in the middle of it, Anne gets her own sanctuary. The tower room.
Just the name sounds magical.
Doesn't it? She loved it. Corner steps leading up, a window seat with this donut-like blue cushion.
The light coming through the corn-colored curtains, the willow shadows. She called it a happy room.
It sounds like exactly what she needed. A place to feel like the richest girl in the world, finding friends in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
It's that need for a safe space, especially when things outside are tough.
And things were tough outside Windy Willows. Summerside wasn't all charm.
No, definitely not. The main challenge, the Pringle family.
The Pringles. Known locally as the royal family.
And they held a lot of sway, socially, educationally, everywhere.
And for some reason, they took an instant dislike to Anne. We're talking major ostracization.
It wasn't just minor snubs, was it?
Oh, no. This was, systemic. Jen Pringle, the ringleader among the students, smart girl, apparently, but hated Anne initially, actively worked against her.
And the adults, too.
Absolutely. Jen's father, James Pringle, looked like a professor, but was, quote, stupid and ignorant, complained about Anne's discipline.
There were incidents, right? Accusations about marking papers unfairly.
Yes, Hattie Pringle's papers. And Anne apparently laughed at Fred Pringle's definition of a centurion in class. Big mistake.
So social snubs followed. Not invited to parties.
Even at church teas, they wouldn't ask her to host a table because if she did, the Pringles threatened to drop out of the choir. Real power plays.
Wow. Rebecca Dew had a prediction about that, didn't she?
She did. Cynical, but probably accurate, said they'd eventually invite Anne to supper just so they could ignore her forever afterwards.
Ouch. Anne actually did visit the main Pringle matriarchs, didn't she? Miss Ellen and Miss Sarah at Maplehurst.
Yes, very proud of their father, Captain Abraham Pringle, and Miss Sarah pretended to be deaf during supper whenever Anne spoke.
Awkward. Anne described feeling like a poor fly caught on flypaper. She really despaired, felt she could never conquer them.
It seemed impossible. But the way the feud resolved.
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. It's almost a lesson in social leverage.
It really is. Not direct confrontation at all.
No. Anne stumbles upon an old diary, written by a sailor named Andy Bryce who knew Captain Pringle's brother, Myram.
And in it, there's this scandalous entry.
Well, scandalous as interpreted. It mentioned Uncle Myram being captured by cannibals, but the phrasing made it sound like he might have been one, or at least that's the fear.
Okay, so what does Anne do?
She sends the diary over to Maplehurst, to Miss Ellen and Miss Sarah.
Just sends it.
Just sends it. Now, the timing is key. There's a Mrs. Stanton writing a county history, and the Pringle sisters are terrified this cannibal story will get out. Ah, the fear of public shame, especially for the royal family.
Precisely. So they capitulate immediately. Jen Pringle offers a full apology at school. The whole clan changes its tune.
And Anne's defense.
She claims she wasn't threatening them at all, just thought they'd, appreciate more details about their wonderful father and his family for the history book. Very innocent.
Of course. And the diary.
Burned promptly.
The change must have been dramatic.
Night and day, Jen becomes a model student. The adults, they fairly fell over one another trying to be nice to Anne. The antagonism just vanished.
It wasn't really blackmail, was it? More like holding up a mirror to their own deepest fear losing face.
Exactly. Strategic understanding of their vulnerability. It's a fascinating example of how social power works sometimes, indirectly.
So this whole Pringle saga, it kind of sets the stage for Anne's time in Summerside, doesn't it?
It really does. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, you see Anne using this unique blend of empathy and, well, sometimes strategic intervention again and again.
She becomes this catalyst for change in people's lives.
Absolutely. Transforming lives, often people who seemed unreachable, or even people who maybe didn't want to be helped at first.
It's like Catherine Brooke,
Oh,
vice principal.
Catherine, yes. Anne found her unbearable initially. Sarcastic, unpopular, very prickly.
But Anne sensed something underneath.
Yeah, a passionate, half-frantic something, like a caged creature mad with discontent. Anne saw past the surface.
And Catherine's backstory, it explains a lot, doesn't it?
It really does. A truly awful childhood. Parents who hated each other, living on charity with relatives who looked down on her, feeling emotionally starved.
She'd apparently scrimped and saved every penny to pay back her uncle for her education.
Which explains why she seems so mean, so dowdy. All her energy went into that. It really makes you ask, doesn't it? How much of who we seem to be is just shaped by past hurts?
And how empathy can help us see that.
Exactly. Anne didn't give up on her. Rebecca Dew called Catherine an iceberg and nutmeg grater combined.
Ah, great description.
But Anne invited her to Green Gables for Christmas anyway.
A bold move.
And it worked. Catherine blossomed there, laughed, played, felt normal, maybe for the first time.
Found the cellar spooky, got a puppy. Little things, but huge for her.
Held Diana's baby, gave a stunning music recital. It unlocked something. She ended up finding a whole new career.
As a secretary to an MP, traveling the world.
Yeah, and she credited Anne entirely for changing her outlook. That invitation wasn't just kindness, it was validation. It showed her another way to live.
Anne's impact wasn't just on colleagues, though. It extended to the really vulnerable, too. Little Elizabeth Grayson.
Little Elizabeth, great-granddaughter of one of the Pringles, actually. Living with her great-grandmother and this other guardian, Martha Monkman, the woman.
A very oppressive household, described as hush-hushed.
Tragically so. Her mother died giving birth to her, and her father just left. Couldn't bear to look at her, apparently.
How awful. And Elizabeth coped by changing her name.
Yes, depending on her mood. Betty, Beth, Elsie,
Yeah.
always yearning for tomorrow, her word for escape from these two old tyrants.
Anne saw a kindred spirit in her right away.
She did, and she intervened, but subtly. Used Mrs. Campbell's Pringle pride to get Elizabeth into a concert.
But the big thing was writing to the father, wasn't it?
Completely unsolicited. She got his address in Paris from Rebecca Dew, of course, who knew everything.
What prompted that?
Elizabeth tearfully confessed she'd written a letter to God asking him to bring her father back, and decided to give God a little help.
And it worked?
Amazingly, yes. The father was surprised, visited, felt immense gratitude, and eventually took Elizabeth to live with him. He brought her tomorrow.
Wow. Just wow. Shows how sometimes a small braid act can change everything for someone.
It really does.
Yeah.
And also had this knack for diffusing really tense social situations, like that dinner at the Taylor house.
Oh, right, where the father, Cyrus Taylor, was sulking because he lost his flannel nightshirt.
Yes, and his sulking was paralyzing the whole family, even threatening his daughter Esme's engagement to Dr. Carter.
What did Anne do there? That sounds impossible.
It was audacious, really. She pretended not to notice his mood. Then she suggested to the doctor, very loudly, that perhaps Mr. Taylor was deaf.
No. What happened?
Well, it sort of broke the tension, but maybe not how you'd expect. Trix, a cousin, and another guest then started listing all of Cyrus's supposed past crimes out loud.
Like what?
Oh, biting his wife, cutting up dresses, reading her mail, wearing overalls to funerals, just piling on.
This sounds like it's going terribly wrong.
You'd think. But then Esme, the daughter, suddenly spoke up, defended him, sort of, revealed this hidden act of kindness he'd done searching all day for some lost kittens.
Okay, so what was the result of all this chaos?
Bizarrely positive. Esme's engagement was announced. The doctor wanted to protect her, apparently, and Cyrus. He stopped sulking, thought the whole dinner listing his sins was a huge joke.
It is completely unexpected. It shows how complex people are, and how sometimes shaking things up, even riskily, can break a deadlock.
Absolutely. But Anne's interventions weren't always smooth sailing. She learned some hard lessons, too. Remember Hazel Marr?
The October blonde, melodramatic, had a crush on Anne?
Right, and got moonlighted into an engagement with Terry Garland she instantly regretted.
So Anne tried to help.
Yeah, she told Terry, Hazel wanted out, meant well.
Right.
It backfired spectacularly. Hazel stormed in, accused Anne of jealousy, of ruining her life,
Oh, dear.
and then sent that postcard suggesting lemon juice for Anne's freckles. That was the last straw for Anne.
So what did Anne take away from that?
She reflected on it quite a bit, admitted she got carried off her feet by flattery, like being the Deus Ex Machina, the rescuer.
Saving people from themselves.
Even when they didn't want saving. A valuable lesson, right?
Yeah.
About the limits of helping and maybe her own motivation sometimes. Even Anne wasn't perfect.
No, definitely not. She also had these encounters that were less about intervention and more about observation. Like with Miss Minerva Tomgallen.
Ah, Tom Gallenhouse, another fascinating character study. Miss Minerva, the last of a family, supposedly even more royal than the Pringles.
And the house was full of tragical memories.
Oh, yes. Great-grandfather broke his neck falling downstairs. A bride left a brother at the altar. A great-aunt died mid-dance. Talk of a Satan entered ballroom.
Sounds grim.
But Miss Minerva seemed to take pride in it all. This family curse, the catalog of calamities.
Like her father omitting, "Forgive us our trespasses," from prayers.
Exactly, all these sudden violent deaths. She recounted them almost gleefully. It's strange, but also maybe human. Finding identity, even pride in your family story, no matter how dark.
Making meaning out of it, I suppose. She gave Anne a ring, though, didn't she?
Yes, a beautiful aquamarine ring, a moment of genuine connection amidst all the Gothic tales.
So Anne's navigating all these complex people, these intense situations. How did she feel looking back as her 3 years ended?
Despite everything, the Pringle feud, the difficult personalities, her letters show a real sense of contentment overall. She wrote that life has seemed to flow by like a pleasant golden river.
The Pringle feud felt like a dream afterwards.
Yeah. And through it all, there's this constant thread, her deep love for Green Gables, the lake of shining waters, looking forward to her house of dreams with Gilbert.
Her roots remained her anchor.
Absolutely. That future vision kept her grounded.
Her departure from Windy Willows sounds quite moving.
It really was. Genuine affection from everyone. Rebecca Dew, usually so practical.
Made all Anne's favorite dishes for a week.
Yeah.
On the best china.
Yes. Even Dusty Miller, the cat, seems sad, and Rebecca's farewell letter.
Written in that old-fashioned style.
Like Aunt Chatty's grandmother might have written. Very formal, but a huge compliment. Ending with, you have never surrendered yourself to the vain pleasures of the giddy and fickle crowd. High praise from Rebecca too.
That really says something.
It does. And Anne, leaving, reflects on the little secrets she kept Aunt Chatty's buttermilk facials, things the widows kept from each other, respecting their world.
She also stayed connected with Catherine Brooke, right?
Yes, Catherine, now living this amazing life as a globe-trotting secretary, a lasting impact.
And Anne herself, even as she looked forward, admitted she'd miss Windy Willows.
Miss her cool morning hours by the tower window, climbing into bed, even her blue donut cushion. Those little comforts.
It shows that even when you're moving towards your dream, you carry pieces of the places you've been.
Definitely.
So wrapping this up, what's the core takeaway from this deep dive into Anne's Summerside letters?
I think it's about connection, empathy, and maybe the surprising results you get when you genuinely engage with people, even the difficult ones.
Her journey really underscores the impact one person can have, right? Just by being present, observant, and sometimes, well, a little bold.
It does. And it leaves us with a question, maybe for you listening. When you meet someone who seems prickly or closed off or just difficult, what stories might be hidden underneath?
What could you discover if you looked past the surface, the way Anne often did?
Perhaps every interaction, every new situation really holds that potential for its own kind of deep dive.
If we're just brave enough to lean in, pay attention, and see what unfolds.